Hi everyone, Chuck again. Today I'm going to be showing you how to break down a Logitech speaker system for use with an arcade machine. Sounds pretty simple of a concept, however, I was concerned that I would break the speaker set trying to take it apart. So I checked on Facebook, and I checked on YouTube, and I checked on Google, and I could not find anywhere showing me exactly what I wanted. So again, I figure if I was looking for it, maybe I could be helping someone else by making this video. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm also doing this because we haven't actually started building yet. As you can see, I've got the wood behind me, and a friend of mine, Jeff, has let me borrow a whole bunch of tools and is actually going to help me build the thing. So that is awesome. I'm going to be starting that soon, so stay tuned for that video because that's going to be awesome. But as far as the Logitech system, the system that I have is a Logitech X230 speaker system. It's two side speakers and a subwoofer. Now, for the subwoofer, we're not going to do anything with that because in the bottom of my arcade, I'm going to have a hole cut out that is the size of the speaker for the subwoofer, and the speaker is going to sit in that hole and then be mounted inside the arcade. So there'll be no Logitech logos or anything else making it look like it's pieced together with various parts. So I'm not worried about that. Plus, with the amplifier and the other wires in there, I'd rather just leave that alone. So this instruction is going to show you how to break apart the individual speakers, including the one that has the controls on it for the volume, power button, and headphone jack. So again, this is the speaker system that we're starting out with. And the very first step is simply the front cover. This piece right here just pops right off. You just pull it right out and it comes off, and that will reveal four screw holes like the one shown, and just take those screws out. Again, pretty simple. The next step is the front bottom part where you see the headphone jack, the volume control, and the power knob. You just grab right above and gently pull that off, and it will pop off as well, revealing the two last screw holes. Undo those screws, and then the entire white part, in my case, of the speaker column slides out of the back casing. After you've got that out, originally I was thinking I'd be able to just kind of snake cables through. That didn't work. Then I started to try to break the plastic around the housing. You can see here I was trying to break it up, and then I just realized, forget this. So then I just, very close as I could to the plastic where the pile of glue is, cut those wires at that point, and then basically cut them on the back side as well. Now, you should also have these little things. You don't need to solder anything when you put this back together, but I wouldn't trust just electrical tape either. So these little tubes here, they're called heat sink or heat shrink tubing, so that when heat's applied, they shrink down along the wire. They're awesome. This has actually been my first time using them. I was going to use a friend's heat gun, but then I realized inside that might not be so safe. So I figured, what the hell, let's try a lighter, and it turns out the lighter works perfectly. So if you're going to start, if it's your first time using this tubing as well, don't try to worry about a hairdryer or a heat gun or whatever. Just move the lighter underneath the tubing so it doesn't get too hot, and as soon as it shrinks, take the heat off, and it works perfectly. So that's what I would do. So after I've cut the wires, and I've got the unit sitting by itself, I've stripped all the little ends so that they're ready for new wires. Now, there is on the other end of the cable, for the control cable, you'll see like on the picture here, it's got this aluminum around it. If you twist it, you'll see which way it's twisting. Twist the opposite way and then free that wire. And that will reveal the blue, brown, and purple wire. There's possibly one more. Anyway, once you have all those, one by one, shrink, use the tubing and reconnect the wires. Twist them, put the tubing over it, then use the heat to reapply it. When you get done with what was normally a separate cable, like you see here, right here, I had just finished the main serial type cable that goes to the subwoofer. So I wrapped that all up in electrical tape so it's one piece. The other two wires that you're seeing in this picture, actually there's three sets. The one is for the headphone jack cable with the green end on it. Now, when you get to that, you'll have a red and a white wire. But then you'll have the silver wire that's going wrapped around the entire thing. So you want to separate that out, and on the other end do the same thing. Then you're going to heat shrink the red wire, then heat shrink the white wire. Then put the two silver ends together, and then heat tape or do the heat shrink on just the end of that, and then tape up the entire wire. You'll notice it will seem at first that there are two black wires associated with the serial. The two parts that are silver are the only serial or silver in that whole assembly. So those two wires go back together. Otherwise, the black wires are copper and they're within their bunch, various bunches of cables, so they shouldn't be too confusing. Once you've got everything wrapped up, basically that's it, and you'll end up having the speakers torn apart as shown here. Now, in this picture, they still have the little white thing around the speakers. On the back side, there are two little screw holes for each speaker, but because I'm not ready to actually apply it to my arcade, I'm leaving them in the little white piece for now. But when you're ready to apply, simply remove those two screws from each speaker and they'll pop free of the assembly. Now, the piece that you pulled off that surrounds the headphone jack, power LED, power button, and volume knob, keep that little piece, because when you're actually building your arcade, you can use that backing and trace circles and stuff to make the correct holes for the circuit board to then fit through. In my case, I could just leave the circuit board inside and have them always powered on, but I want to have down in the corner by the controls, I want those buttons accessible, and more importantly, the headphone jack, so when my son is playing on the arcade, I can have him use headphones. Anyway, again, this is it sounds pretty simple to break apart, but I just wasn't able to find a video for myself, so I wanted to make sure when you went to look, there was one available for you. It's also part of the entire process of my building my arcade, so I want to make sure to document it. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Comment below, and I will try to respond. And stay tuned. Like I said, there's the next video I'm coming out with is how to fix the issue where your devices keep getting reassigned in the emulator software. It's very annoying. So I want to fix it. I'll show you how.